The Russian-Indian partnership forming around the Yakovlev SJ-100 appears much more ambitious than a straightforward licensed assembly arrangement. Discussions have evolved from local production of Russia's regional jet in India to exploring new aircraft variants, including a stretched 130-seat version that could significantly impact the Superjet program. The PD-10 aircraft engine, a recently debated engine concept, is the focal point of that discussion. According to recent Russian reports and commentary from aviation analyst Sergey Marzhetsky, India and Russia may collaborate to develop a new medium-thrust turbofan engine that generates approximately 10 to 11 tons of thrust. The proposal is becoming more closely associated with the potential for an extended SJ-100 that is specifically designed to meet the needs of India. The consequences are enormous. The project may no longer be merely a Russian regional aircraft assembled abroad if India genuinely proceeds with localized SJ-100 production through Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Instead, it has the potential to transform into a jointly adapted aircraft family that includes Indian-defined specifications, Indian industrial participation, and potentially a new jointly developed propulsion system. Now, before we go further, this is where things start getting really interesting. Because what began as a discussion about assembling aircraft in India may actually be turning into a conversation about designing an entirely new Indo-Russian passenger jet ecosystem. And honestly, that is a very different story altogether. The SJ-100 has been the subject of months-long negotiations between Russia and India regarding its localized manufacturing in India. Russian industry representatives have publicly expressed their desire to eventually manufacture up to 40 aircraft annually in India, while officials from United Aircraft Corporation and HAL have already signed memorandums of cooperation regarding the aircraft. The significance of the recent discussion is that Russian analysts are no longer purely discussing the production of the current aircraft configuration. Instead, they are openly thinking about the potential for India to reshape the aircraft into various seating classes that are specifically designed for domestic conditions. Marzhetsky made one of the most remarkable claims, asserting that the Superjet's evolution could follow its own development course in India, which could lead to aircraft variants with 75 and 130 passenger seats. This assertion is important due to the fact that the current SJ-100 is essentially a regional aircraft with a capacity of 75 to 100 seats. Extending the aircraft to the 130-seat category would result in it being positioned in a completely new operational and commercial segment. This aircraft would be more closely aligned with the lower end of the narrow-body market, which is currently occupied by the Airbus A220 and larger Embraer E-Jet E2 variants. Russia had previously investigated this concept through the abandoned Superjet 130NG concept. In the past, there were intentions to build an aircraft that was significantly stretched, equipped with composite wings and new generation engines. Nevertheless, the concept was unable to advance due to sanctions, funding constraints, and program instability. India may now unexpectedly revive the concept in a different form. And this is the part where altitude addicts should probably pay close attention. Because the timing of all this does not look accidental anymore. The current import-substituted SJ-100 is powered by the PD-8 aircraft engine, a domestically developed power plant that was designed to replace the Franco-Russian SAM-146 engine that was previously employed in Superjets. The PD-8 is a significant technological and industrial milestone for Russia, as it eliminates reliance on Western suppliers following the disruption of aerospace cooperation due to sanctions. Nevertheless, the PD-8 was developed in accordance with the dimensions and performance envelope of the current SJ-100 airframe. The thrust class of this aircraft is appropriate for a regional jet that can accommodate approximately 100 passengers. However, a stretched 130-seat aircraft would likely necessitate more power. The aircraft's maximum takeoff weight, passenger load, fuel requirements, and operational stress would all be increased by a longer fuselage. In India, these challenges are exacerbated by the fact that a large number of airports are located at higher elevations and in humid climates. Airlines often ask for higher thrust margins than operators in milder climates due to the reduction in engine efficiency and the increase in required takeoff distances caused by high temperatures. This is the point at which the proposed PD-10 is introduced into the conversation. Marzhetsky characterized the engine as occupying the space between the PD-8 and the PD-14 aircraft engines, which were used in the Irkut MC-21. The PD-10 would be suitable for both military and civilian applications, as it would generate approximately 10 to 11 tons of thrust, according to the discussion. The thrust class in question is remarkably consistent with the requirements of a stretched Superjet. Not perfectly, but close enough that the aerospace industry is clearly beginning to connect the dots. At present, there is a clear divide in the capabilities of Russia's PD engine family. The regional aircraft are powered by the PD-8, while the MC-21 is substantially larger and is powered by the PD-14. The prospective PD-35 aircraft engine is designed to power wide-body aircraft. However, there is no mature Russian engine that is specifically designed to be optimized for aircraft in the 110 to 140 seat category. Consequently, a PD-10 could serve as a strategic bridge generator for multiple programs at once. The Bereev B-200 and the proposed Ilyushin Il-212 have already been mentioned in Russian reports as potential applications. However, the most powerful long-term commercial logic may be associated with a stretched Indian Superjet, because India's aviation market is growing at a pace that is honestly difficult to ignore. In contrast to Russia's domestic market, India has large development potential in regional and secondary city aviation. Indian airlines are increasingly in need of aircraft that are larger than conventional regional flights, but smaller and more cost-effective to operate than full-size, narrow-body aircraft, such as the Boeing 737 MAX or the Airbus A320neo family. The space could be occupied by a 130-seat SJ-100 derivative. Such an aircraft could be appealing to export customers who are seeking lower-cost alternatives outside the Western aerospace ecosystem, as well as to India, if it is coupled with Indian manufacturing and local supply chain participation. The cooperation model currently under discussion is becoming more reminiscent of the development of India's defense industrial partnerships with Russia, rather than a conventional civil aviation procurement agreement. The earlier localization paradigm employed for the Sukhoi Su-30 MKI program has been repeatedly referenced by Russian sources when discussing the SJ-100 project. That comparison is insightful. India underwent a progressive transformation from a customer to a manufacturing and integration partner as a result of the Su-30 MKI program. India implemented operational modifications, localized systems, and domestic industrial participation as time progressed. The SJ-100 may experience a comparable situation. After decades of relying almost exclusively on imported airliners, India has long sought to re-establish its domestic passenger aircraft manufacturing capability. The HAL-UAC collaboration has the potential to provide India with access to a comprehensive aerospace ecosystem, which includes airframe production, systems integration, engine maintenance, and potentially future engine development participation. India could acquire access to aircraft fabrication and turbofan engine industrial expertise, which are among the most strategically sensitive technologies in aerospace if the PD-10 program advances. And yes, that would be a major shift in India's civil aviation ambitions. The notion of an enlarged Superjet is not new. The Superjet 130NG, a 130-seat derivative with enhanced aerodynamics, composite wings, and new generation engines, was investigated by Russia over a decade ago. The initiative was intended to compete directly against Bombardier and Embraer aircraft at the time. Nevertheless, the initiative was never developed beyond the concept phase. The concept may be rendered more realistic than it was previously, despite the irony of the current geopolitical climate. Russia was compelled to localize aircraft production and engine development in response to Western sanctions. Meanwhile, India has been striving to achieve greater industrial self-reliance through its Make in India initiative. The two pressures are currently intersecting. A future Indian-Russian stretched SJ-100 could potentially rely on a domestically developed PD-10, rather than relying on Western engines, such as Pratt & Whitney power plants, that were originally envisioned for the 130 NG. This would result in the establishment of a completely distinct industrial model, one that is intended to eliminate all reliance on Western aerospace suppliers. That sounds simple on paper. In reality, it would be incredibly difficult, but not impossible. Although there is an increasing amount of speculation, there are still several significant caveats. It does not appear that the PD-10 is an officially launched development program at this time. There are currently no publicly available prototype timelines, certification schedules, or formal state funding announcements. Currently, the discourse is primarily confined to industrial speculation and expert commentary. Similarly, the Russian and Indian governments have not officially confirmed the 130-seat SJ-100 variant. Certification and serial production of the baseline import-substituted SJ-100, equipped with PD-8 engines, continue to be Russia's current priority. The program has already encountered technical challenges and delays during the certification of engines and the replacement of systems. Only after the baseline aircraft has been stabilized would Russia be able to realistically pursue an enlarged derivative. Nevertheless, the strategic rationale that underpins the concept is becoming increasingly difficult to disregard. And altitude addicts will probably notice something else here too. Russia is no longer talking only about replacing Western components. It is increasingly discussing entirely new aviation ecosystems outside the Western market structure. India's eventual decision to pursue a stretched SJ-100 with a PD-10 engine could result in a much larger aircraft than a modified regional aircraft. The emergence of a new Eurasian civil aviation infrastructure that is constructed outside of the conventional Western aerospace structure could be represented by this. At a time when access to Europe and North America is still restricted, Russia would acquire a substantial production and operating market. India would acquire a domestically assembled passenger aircraft ecosystem, aerospace technology transfer, and manufacturing capabilities. The most significant benefit would be that both nations would achieve a certain level of autonomy from Western suppliers in a sector that has been historically dominated by companies such as Airbus, Boeing, Pratt & Whitney, and CFM International. It is uncertain whether the PD-10 will ultimately become a reality. However, the fact that Russian analysts are now openly linking the engine to India's evolving SJ-100 ambitions suggests that discussions within the aerospace sector may already be progressing beyond basic aircraft assembly. The question is no longer whether India will build only the SJ-100. The actual question may concern whether India and Russia are collaborating to develop an entirely new aircraft family. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Please also take the channel membership to encourage us.